This should be fairly familiar to most Land Rover guys. It's the voltage stabilizer that drives the fuel gauge and temperature gauge. Now, this stabilizer, all the magic that it does is it takes 12 volt input and then releases a 10 volt stabilized output to drive those gauges. This one, which is probably also familiar to most Land Rover owners, is not working. Now, we discovered this last week and decided to pull another one off of a parts truck. That one also wasn't working. So we pulled another one off of another parts truck, and that one also wasn't working. As a result, we decided this was not the way to go. So you need a couple of things to get this done. One, it would be a transistor. This is a modern transistor, a LM2940-10 made by Texas Instruments. A little bit more robust, but in order to drive this to get a 12 volt input and a 10 volt output, you also need some capacitors. This little tiny guy and this little barrel here as well. Now, in addition to that, you need a little bit of wiring and some shrink tubing just to make things safe. I'm going to quickly put together a spare to bring along with us on our trip, and I thought I would show you. Okay, here we go. So we need to be careful about the polarity on this guy. There is a negative bar on it, and so this one is a polarized unit, and we'll just get it on. All right, so here it is all completed. I had a little bit of trouble. My soldering iron died and I had to take a little break. So anyways, the essentials are, this is our input, which is soldered on through our little capacitor here, which is also soldered onto the negative post, which is the center post. The other capacitor is also on the center post on its negative side, and then on its positive side, that's our 10 volt output, and that's just to steady out both the input and output. This will be our ground, and that's consistent with the center post internally inside the transistor. Now, let's test it out and see if all of this magic and the $2 or $3 I spent in electronic parts actually functions. So I've just clipped the multimeter onto the output side, and the other side of the multimeter is on the negative post of the battery. We will also ground the chassis of our transistor out on the battery, and then I'll reach across and hit the positive, and we'll see what our output is. Our output is 10 volts, 10.02 volts, consistent and nicely stabilized. So there you have it. For $2 to $4 worth of electronic parts and a little bit of soldering fun, you too can replace your English made transistor stabilizer majiggy that doesn't work with something that will work.